fabulous superstar Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of November 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time. The 13th of the month is when we have this month's new moon. The new moon takes place in the sign just before yours, and this is quite a powerful time. So much is happening on levels of soul and psyche and spirit for you. A lot is stirring. But I would add, I feel like this is a time when you become aware of what you weren't aware of before. And it really could be a big game changer for a lot of Sagittarius out there. Whether it's about an external circumstance, person, place, thing, situation, or you. This is where some light comes on. And ultimately, even if it feels uncomfortable in the moment, it ends up empowering you immensely. And so some key characteristics of this new moon include the fact that it is close in the sky to Mars. Now, that in and of itself would be big because it speaks to this very powerful, profound energy that is deeply transformative, but it's adrenaline and it's impulsive as well. But it's the fact that Uranus is across the sky with precision from this new moon that adds this very wild card factor into the mix. Whatever does pop up, it literally can feel like out of nowhere, here is the truth, here is clarity. And it can raise all kinds of emotions for you, energies for you. Let that lead you to the roller coaster that it'll possibly take you on. But on the other side of it is truth, and you get there rather quickly. The fact that we get harmonious connections of Neptune and Pluto tells me that you understand your power within a given situation, you understand what you can do, and very quickly are able to align yourself with an energy that's a lot more fortunate, a lot more helpful to you as well. You're able to empower yourself in some way. And so lots is stirring within. Secrets are emerging. The things you didn't realize about, again, it could be external, but it could be about you too, are coming to the surface now. I think that many Sagittarius are going to find it very hard to rest, to sleep. That's going to be tricky to actually engage. And yet it's almost like that's what ends up helping you most at this time, because it'll help dissipate some of the more chaotic energies of this moment and help you to make sense of them, especially energetically. Be kind with yourself, be patient with yourself as much as you may need rest. That can be hard at moments to come by. And yet that's what helps move you through a moment of surprise and that much more quickly get to that empowerment that you're ready for. It is a new moon. New beginnings are promised here. And yet, given where this new moon is taking place, there's a sense of closing karmic ties, ending karmic chapters, and having a sense that you have so much more yet to do in this lifetime. You don't need all the details just yet. This is a necessary part of the journey to get you to fulfill a higher, more meaningful understanding of all it is that you have yet to do. And there's a whole lot that you have yet to do. On the 27th of the month is when we will have this month's full moon. And this is a very important full moon for you because it is a full moon in your opposite sign. Now, full moons always illuminate. They help us to be honest on an emotional level and sometimes to admit the truth to ourselves that maybe had been there all along, but we just hadn't wanted to look at it. This full moon is powerful in and of itself. It is opposite Mars. By this point, Mars will be in your sign. In fact, 3 days before the full moon, Mars enters your sign. Huge energy. With Mars in your sign for about a month and a half, there's this determination to change your life. The things that are no longer working for you can really annoy you, upset you, and irritate you, I have to say. But if you channel this energy towards what you have power over, especially what you can change in your life, you are in many ways unstoppable. It's like the force is with you. And so it becomes really important to take ownership of whatever you're feeling, especially when it comes out as frustration or uncertainty. But it could be your interactions with a key partner in your life that are part of what provoke or evoke this very strong sense that change is what you're really going for. Saturn is squaring this full moon, and that brings with it an element of restriction, but also needing to be mature, needing to take responsibility where possible. Again, opposite sign has to do with partnership, which means one-on-one alliances, business partnerships, and professional alliances now can be part of what's changing, in some cases, very quickly. The frustration that you feel is there. Now, how are you going to channel it to your advantage? But also in a way that is strategic, that is smart, that helps fuel healthy self-respect in the process. Now, I would also add, look, to me, when Mars is in your sign, it is always an opportunity to truly engage with the serenity affirmation, which is, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Those are 3 positions of power within oneself. And very quickly, as soon as Mars enters your sign, you are being made to make those distinctions. The first thing that happens when Mars enters your sign, very quickly will move to align with tension with Saturn. And then, of course, that full moon in tension with Saturn. And so you can see here that there's this sense of restriction and realizing I don't have power over this. I'm going to need to surrender this. But then also in the process, tapping into something truly profound and meaningful. Like I said, it's the force that makes you unstoppable. Now, if all of this wasn't enough, I'm going to add another layer of consideration here. And that is the fact that it is going to be on the 25th of the month that Mercury in your sign is going to go into shadow. Eventually, once we get into December, we'll go retrograde. The last week of December, a retrograde Mercury re-enters your sign and then goes direct on the 1st of January of a brand new year. I share this with you because to me, this represents a huge moment of self-honesty and of contemplation. But I really am going to invite you to pay attention what is happening the last week of this month. Because where Mercury is the last week of this month is where Mercury will return to the last week of December as well, and into a brand new year as well. Whatever's transpiring under the light of that full moon and how it is personally relevant to you, how it is changing you, is going to become much more clear once you enter a new year. All is not clear just yet, and that really is okay. Strive to stay honest with you. Keep a journal so that you know and remember what's going on, because again, you may see yourself, the choices that you make now, very differently once we navigate to the end of December and into January as well. Now, where it comes to matters of love, I'm going back to that full moon. That is a huge moment in the context of love for the Sagittarians out there. If ever there was a moment when so much came to the surface, but also a real need to acknowledge the limits of your power, so much is stirring within you, but needing to be aware of the actions you choose. This really would be it. It is a huge moment of realizing where you are in love and how you feel about it. For those of you open to meeting someone new, this is especially relevant for you now. There are powerful energies at play here. And when we have important lunar energy in your opposite sign, someone is there to help you to understand where you are in love and how you feel about that. Just make sure you're being kind and gentle to yourself at this time. I think the awareness of that is going to come on really strongly. It may take you by some surprise, but ultimately its point is to empower you, to have faith that actually has action to support it. Saturn is about faith without works is dead. Saturn is a key player under the light of that full moon. It is showing you to exercise that muscle, to work that faith, to do your best and surrender the rest, yes, but also that we really have no control over other people. And that may be a powerful lesson for you now, whether it's the past that you're cleansing or a real sense of forward momentum. You are getting honest, and it changes your understanding of what love is for you now and going forward from here. For those of you just starting to date someone, this is a big turning point moment. If ever there was energy that said all or nothing, I really think that this full moon is it. You are going to get honest about whether or not there's long-term potential here, how you really feel about this person, what's really going on, what they can offer you, the limits of what they can offer you, and the limits of what you can offer as well. And with all that laid bare, it'll either be all a committed relationship, because I think with that Saturn square, you're not going to want anything less, or you're going to realize that this is not the person to commit to. This is not someone to navigate forward with. And this could be consciously choosing to go a whole other way. And for those of you in an established bond, well, look, the overwhelming majority out there are going to find that this is a time of increased commitment and intimacy and bonding. Yes, some energies, passions may run very high. It may or may not have to do with the relationship itself. It may not have anything to do with like behavior or things that either of you has any control over. But whatever happens is very revealing about the partnership. But it is the energy of Saturn that ends up being of consequence. So either that's strengthening the bond, or you realizing that this relationship has gone as far as it's going to go, and that really is okay with you. And so pace yourself and be yourself, as I like to say, but know that this is a huge moment of truth for you in the context of your established bond that absolutely can change the trajectory of the partnership going forward from here. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It is a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say, look, we have such huge energies, but Mars in your sign. It is the force. It is strong. It is courageous. And that energy is going to visit you now. So let yourself focus on wherever it is that you're meant to go, you want to go, you feel inspired to go. Because I promise you, it will be somewhere good, even if it takes frustration at the things that must change, that you want different, to actually get to the place where things start to be different. That work will be worth it. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership rate. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.